Hello ladies and gentlemen and those in between, welcome back to my channel, Everett here, and today we're going to talk about Hello Stranger the movie. So, if this is not your first time to visit my channel, and if you've already been following this channel, you have already known that I just review a series, and this is the very first time I'm going to review a BL movie simply because I just can't let this movie and its popularity go by and fade away. Well, I have to admit that I'm such a huge fan of the Hello Stranger BL series, so before we get the ball rolling, I would just like to give a shout out to my best friend Ernestus. Thank you for buying me an e-ticket so that I could have a 48-hour access to the movie. And thank you very much, Bestie, for doing that for me. Aww. Anyway, without any further ado, let's get started. If you guys haven't known this yet, Hello Stranger the movie is a sequel to Hello Stranger BL series, which is a 2020 Philippine boys love web series starring Tony Labrusca and JC Alcantara. It was produced by Black Sheep Productions, which is a division of ABS-CBN Films. Hello Stranger is the third Filipino BL series released after the phenomenal success of a Thai BL series Together the Series, which paved the way for the very first two Filipino BL series, Game Boys and Sacristan. Right at the moment, Hello Stranger is the most viewed Filipino BL series on YouTube. In fact, its first episode has more than 2 million views on YouTube, and the rest of the episodes have more than 1 million views. Undeniably, Hello Stranger has a huge fan base. Hello Stranger the series is a story about two boys who first meet online as strangers who don't seem to like each other very much, but are again brought together by circumstances that change their lives forever. When Miko, a nerdy college student, organizes an online quiz night with his group of friends, he is surprised when his school's popular basketball player Xavier joins in and insults them. Little does Miko know that this won't be the last time he will be seeing Xavier. They both cross paths for a school project. Despite their differences, the two boys get to form an unlikely bond that goes beyond friendship through their several online interactions, and eventually they fall in love with each other. As I've already mentioned, Hello Stranger the movie is a sequel to the series, and the movie reveals that Miko and Xavier actually didn't end up together in the series because Xavier and Crystal got back together again in a relationship. In the movie, Miko, along with his best friends Kokai, Seph, and Junjun, attend this writing camp, and Miko gets to see Xavier again. To make matters more awkward, they both pick out the same room number and stay in the same room, and the tension between Xavier and Miko all begins. I don't want to tell a lie, but honestly speaking, I was sort of skeptical about how the scriptwriters and the director could pull this type of storyline off. Because merely based on its trailer, I could tell that there would be an outing at the beach, and the conflict and everything would revolve around the same location, which could probably get a little bit boring, but I was completely wrong, and I can bravely tell you this. Every cent spent in the ticket is all worth it. Trust me on this. The cinematography is perfect. Of course, what can we expect from a movie produced by ABS-CBN? And of course, Tony Labrusca and JC Alcantara nailed it. The acting just left me speechless. As usual, JC did an amazing job, and I think that the best thing about JC's acting is the expression in his eyes. He is freaking natural, and he is the type of actor that can make you all giddy without making a lot of efforts. JC acts effortlessly. On the other hand, I have to admit that in the series at certain times, Tony's acting is a little bit underwhelming, but in this movie, I have seen a great deal of improvement in how he acts, especially in the last scene where he confesses what he has learned from joining the writing camp. Gosh, I just can't count how many times I cried. Let's talk about the two main characters, Xavier and Miko. Xavier is played by Tony Labrusca, who is undoubtedly the most popular Filipino actor to venture into Filipino BL series. Tony first gained his popularity via McDonald's Philippines TV commercial back in 2016, and also in the same year, he joined the Philippine reality search Pinoy boy band Superstar. Even though he didn't win in a said reality TV show, he became a part of a horror fantasy drama series La Luna Sangre, which made him rise to popularity. And later on, he was cast in the film Glorious, which made him a household name and even more popular. In this series, Tony plays Xavier, who is a popular basketball player, and personally I think that he suits well with his character as Xavier, specifically the physical attributes. Miko is played by JC Alcantara, who is a Filipino social media star who has earned popularity through the mobile phone application TikTok. In fact, he is considered as one of the most popular TikTok stars in the Philippines and has collaborated with several commercial ads. And one of them is Jollibee. Miko is a typical nerdy guy who excels in academics, and one thing that I love about him the most, as what I've already said, is how natural his facial expressions are, especially when he goes all giddy. His eyes are very expressive, and you can see what kind of emotions he conveys with just looking into his eyes. And their chemistry is unquestionably through the roof. It's clearly beautiful beyond description, and among all of these Filipino BL couples that we have today, Tony and JC make the most beautiful pair. And I'm very proud to say that I don't regret choosing them to take the #1 spot in my top 10 Filipino BL couples with chemistry. In fact, in the movie, they've just proven that clearly they are worth being dubbed as the BL kings of the Philippines. I just love everyone in the cast, from the lead cast to the support cast, and they're all good actors, specifically all of the male actors. Tony, JC, Patrick, and Migs are distractingly handsome and sexy. Everyone in this movie has this star quality. First off, I really love the young Padawans, which is what they call their circle of friends. They're a type of group of friends that you want to be a part of, and that you want to be just friends with them. I appreciate how much they care about one another, and in today's world, it's just so hard to find a group of friends who support one another in good times and in bad times. Even though I'm not a big fan of heterosexual on-screen romantic couple, there's just something between Kokai and Seph that can make you all glued to your computer screen. I love their chemistry, and I think that they kind of look alike. So I guess that explains why their chemistry transmits through camera lenses. But quite frankly, I would love Patrick, aka Seph, to actually star in a BL series, because he has a lot of potentials to shake the BL universe and drive all of these BL lovers crazy. I love Junjun too. He's cute, he's funny, but definitely not a turn-off. And his sense of humor makes him look even cuter. I don't know if it's only me, but I've seen this great chemistry between Junjun and Crystal, especially in that scene where Crystal asked Junjun a random question by the seashore. I felt their chemistry right away, and I won't be surprised if they're paired up with one another if ever there's Hello Stranger BL Series Season 2. There's another character that caught my attention. Arvin, the one that Xavier tells that he is in love with Miko. And for some reason, he just reminds me so much of Artet of Sotus the series. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, Arvin bears a striking resemblance to Artet. They really look alike. And if Hello Stranger the series has a second season, I would love him to be paired up with James, who is also their friend in this movie. And James is played by Jin Macapagal, who is the grand winner of his Showtime's Beta Man. Finally, Sam was played by Marcus Patterson, who also did a great participation as the third wheel in this movie. And of course, can we ever forget Miss Tina Moran? The teacher certainly brings the mood up. I have many favorite scenes in this movie, but I'm going to just mention a few of them. First, that scene where Miko gets stung by jellyfish and Xavier panics and pees on Miko, thinking that it can get rid of the jellyfish sting, and Kokai and Junjun from afar wonder what's going on. Second, that scene where they play The Boat is Sinking. And if you guys are not familiar with what this game is, The Boat is Sinking is a classic party game where the game master would call out numbers and players would have to group themselves into that number. In this scene, there are only 3 players left: Xavier, Miko, and Crystal. When Miss Tina Moran says, "Group yourselves into 2," Xavier gets confused about who to choose between Miko and Crystal. And Miko and Crystal see that, so they group themselves into 2 to save Xavier from being confused. Third, that scene where Xavier gets jealous of Sam and Miko being sweet toward one another while singing a song. Even though Xavier is jealous, he still looks handsome. And when he starts singing this song dedicated to Miko, that's it. Game over. Fourth, that scene where Crystal finally lets go of Xavier, knowing that Xavier will never be happy with her. She knows that after all this time, Xavier is in love with Miko and not with her. And in my opinion, that's brave of her to do such thing. Indeed, it takes a lot of courage to let go and set oneself free eventually. Finally, the long wait is over. Xavier and Miko kiss. And yes, it's not edited, it's definitely not fake. And that kiss is romantically and passionately executed. And it has sealed the amazing chemistry between Xavier and Miko. It's glorious. One of the most remarkable scenes in this movie is that moment when Xavier confesses what he's learned from attending the writing camp. And I quote what he says word for word. The time that I spent here, the past week with all of you guys, it's changed everything for me. Kasi okay lang naman pala magkamali. Hindi din pala nakakatakot na maging mahina. And lastly, hindi pwedeng hindi ka tumataya sa buhay. At kailangan mo lang na maging matapang at harapin lahat ng challenges na ibibigay ng life sa iyo. Thank you for teaching me to be courageous and for helping me to find my truth. It may not be with you, but I want you to know that you're always going to be a part of it. Basically, what it means is, it's okay to make mistakes. It's not scary to be weak and we should take risks. We need to be brave enough to face all of these challenges in life. And I am on absolute board because as often as not, we have the tendency toward doing things perfectly. We're afraid of making mistakes for two reasons. First, that's because we can't accept failures, and secondly, we are concerned about what people might say about us. It's not scary to be weak. Well, easier said than done, but recognizing our weaknesses can actually help us see our strengths. We won't be able to see what we are strong on unless we know what we are weak at. Finally, we should take risk because if we only stay in our comfort zone, we can never know what else we can do. But at certain times, life itself forces us to take risk in order to learn to step up our game. Another thing I love about this movie is its original soundtrack. Kahit na anong sabihin ng iba, which is roughly translated as no matter what they say in English. This song is basically about a guy who prefers to laugh at these people criticizing his relationship with the one he loves. People say along the lines of, they're just happy at the beginning and their relationship won't last long, and so on. But despite all of these criticisms, he manages to take a stand on how he truly feels.
Dami nilang sinasabi, malapit na nga akong mapingi sa mga napupunga nila. Nakakasawa din pala. Sabi-sabi nila na di tayo magtatagal. Kesyo ganito, kesyo ganyan, so lang daw tayo masaya. Wala tayong magagawa. Tawanan na lang natin kahit na anong sabihin ng iba. Pangako ko sa'yo na walang mag-iba. Walang magdidikta. Sana tama kahit na anong sabihin ng iba. Mahal kita. Mahal kita. Wala tayong magagawa. Tawanan na lang natin kahit na anong sabihin ng iba. Pangako ko sa'yo na walang mag-iba. walang magdidikta. Sana darama kahit na anong sabihin ng iba. Mahal kita. Mahal kita.
Hello Stranger, the movie is about staying true to oneself, setting someone free, and believing in second chances. One of the worst things a person can ever do is to deceive themselves, and doing so only locks themselves up in a world of lies which they themselves create. Setting someone free equates with setting oneself free as well. And generally speaking, the longer we hang on to a relationship that we know will never work, the more we struggle emotionally. Finally, there's no harm in believing in second chances. Some succeed, but some fail. But regardless of how things turn out to be, our good intentions will always lead us to genuine happiness. Anyway, that's pretty much it for this video. Thank you so much for watching this video. And if you like this video, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when my next video comes out. Peace outie! If you guys haven't known this yet, Hello Stranger the movie is the sequel to Hello Stranger BL series, which is a 2020 Philippine... If you guys haven't known this yet,